Uh, in this video, I'm going to be looking at qualitative research and what that is. Qualitative research is the research method that focuses on exploring and understanding the complexities of human behavior, experiences, and social phenomena throughout non-numerical data such as text, images, or observations. It is often used in social science, humanities, and other fields where the goal is to gain deeper understanding on the subject matter rather than just qualifying it, quantifying it, instead of focusing on numbers. So they're broken into more of the logical and more of the emotional, which is kind of interesting, I guess, where emotions based on my own understanding has a lot of impact for purchasing decisions and how people do make those decisions. Sometimes it can take 3 seconds to do that, which is kind of interesting. But there's all study and field on that, so I never knew that's even an option. I never knew that's even an option, and how people, some of the people, and not necessarily me, for whatever reasons, not making logical decisions what might be better in terms of perhaps what you would buy with the term of money and what the label of the product can determine your purchasing decision, just label, not necessarily product itself. uh, let's take a look at some of the key characteristics and aspects of qualitative research. Data collection methods, if we would begin with those. Qualitative research gather data through methods such as interviews, focus groups, participant observation, open-ended surveys, content analysis, and document analysis. These methods are designed to capture rich, detailed information throughout participants of different service or different sources, and how they collected that information. There is a lot of books published in this particular field in terms of colors and how people would react to particular colors, and some of the top companies out there who have made their decisions of how the staff should dress as using what kind of colors, since there is some impact there, I guess. But there's a whole field of study. Open-ended questions. Qualitative research often involves asking open-ended questions that allow participants to express their thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their own words. This encourages a more in-depth explorations of the different topics based on what kind of research you would like to take on participants. What products or services? We'll come back to that, but perhaps it's a wider range of some of the use cases for this particular method. Small samples. Qualitative studies typically involve smaller sample sizes compared to quantitative research. So yeah, so instead of emotional, perhaps not as much as logical, I guess. That's my own understanding, but by the way, I don't know how other people would define it. The focus on the in-depth of understanding rather than generalizing to a larger population. So yeah, selected groups and everything. But either way, the performance, how it should be done. Most of those studies are very similar in that kind of sense, but how much those kind of areas shouldn't be overlooked, if anything. I don't know how is my attitude when it comes to emotions and everything, but that shouldn't be a determined factor to most people, other than perhaps thinking with logic or making those purchasing decisions that would make sense instead of how it would make you feel. What would make sense, not what how you that product or service would make you feel. I hope that makes sense. So I don't know about my own attitude, but it shouldn't be overlooked. Qualitative data analysis is typically a subject and interactive process. Researchers immerse themselves in the data, identify themes, patterns, and relationships, and use various techniques like coding to organize and make sense of the information. Okay, I guess rich descriptions. Qualitative research aims to provide rich, detailed descriptions of the phenomena being studied. Researchers often include direct quotations from participants to illustrate the key points. Either way, there is a lot of value in this particular field. For those of you who are looking to develop a brand or product or services, whichever you're going to be offering, there is a lot of value in that. But it's over time, perhaps with different cycles, and if you were to deliver to different users, how much detail focused you yourself might be, as well as that are going to be reflected on your work and or work that you are delivering. Contextual understanding. Qualitative research emphasizes the importance of understanding the context in which is research has been taking place. Researchers consider some of the books, right? So depending on the lens, which kind of lens you got at the time, and what kind of information you're looking for, when you're reading that book, you would understand, or your experience might be different. As same goes for research performed based on what kind of information person will be looking for to gain after reading particular work. Researchers consider the social, cultural, and historical factors that maybe influence the subject of the study, especially if you're looking to expand abroad. It's something to take into account, especially different culture aspects, perhaps different letter signage, as well as perhaps telling a story about your brand and a company and what you like to achieve with it. Theory building. Qualitative research can contribute to theory building by generating new insights, hypotheses, and conceptual frameworks. It often leads to the development of the theories, then explain social or behavioral phenomena. I guess, but again, causation not equals to correlation, right? So this particular theory, it will it will stay to be theory. Subjective quantitative research acknowledges the subjectivity of both researchers and participants. Researchers are aware of their own biases and perspectives and may employ strategies to minimize them. Flexibility. Qualitative research is flexible and adaptive, allowing researchers to modify their research questions or methods as they gain deeper understanding into the topic. Ethical consideration. Researchers consider qualitative studies most consider ethical issues rather than informed consent. Confidentiality and well-being of participants, ethical guidelines and protocols are crucial in qualitative research. Reporting. Qualitative research findings are typically reported in narrative form, often in the form of articles, reports, and case studies, telling a story. The goal is to provide coherent and compelling account of research processes and findings. For those of you who are interested in starting your own company, if you already got existing company, as well as if you are looking to invest in different companies, I would highly recommend to purchase this book. I have done a lot of research and have published that in this particular book for people out there to learn more before delving into which can be considered deep waters, right? In this book, I'm sharing a lot of information for any of you who are interested in learning more, and I'm taking some of the very complex concepts I'm trying to share with easy to understand samples, and usually I'm taking different samples from different angles just to make sure that readers will understand what I'm trying to say with particular subject matter that I'm trying to explain, doing my best to explain in this book. You can find this book in the description below, as well as top retailers has it. Qualitative research is valuable for exploring complex, nonsense topics and understanding the perspectives of individuals and groups in complement. I don't know. So myself, I'm not entirely sure if I'm sold on this particular method of doing research. It seems like a waste of everyone's time and focusing focusing on the people's emotions. But what do I know, alright? What do I know? So I'm not here to recommend something that I'm not necessarily agree on. If anything, so based on all this information, it's just because those people's emotions are constantly changing. One day I'm not feeling well, next day I'm feeling great. So, and if someone would give me a survey to fill in how I feel about color yellow or color red, I might feel completely different. And some people on the other side will try to make sense of that. So that's my own takeaways from all what I have learned so far. But either way, that's my biases. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.